I'm a graduate of Southern New Hampshire University, and I took a fairly non-traditional path to get my degrees back when non-traditional was not the standard. I have a bachelor's degree. I went at night and on the weekends. I worked as a school bus driver and at Burger King during the day to pay for my education. I then went into a career as an accountant and felt like I needed to round out my experiences, so I came back to Southern New Hampshire University and I got my master's in business administration again in the evening. One of the great things about taking classes at night and nights and the weekends for me back then was that I was going to school with people that were in careers and they had families and they were juggling quite a bit, but they had incredible experiences, rich experiences that helped me learn and grow in a lot of ways. So I would encourage you to continue to seek non-traditional ways to educate yourself, and certainly Southern New Hampshire University leads the way there. I started my career as an accountant and I ended up at a company called Snap Software in Manchester, New Hampshire. There was a gentleman by the name of Jim Levy who was the CEO there, and he became one of my really key mentors in my career. But one of the things he inspired in me was wanting to be an entrepreneur. I really caught the entrepreneurial bug from Jim, and I had ascended to a position of being a chief financial officer for the division, but I wanted something more. I needed to get more experiences if I wanted to be an entrepreneur. So I ended up going to the CEO of the company, said I would like to get some other experiences, and I became a product manager for a product line of the company and did that for a year, and then realized that if I really wanted to be an entrepreneur, I needed to learn how to sell. So I went back to the CEO again, and I said, could I get a sales job and take this sales territory that's open? Can I take that job? And he was nice enough to oblige me with it. It was interesting because I was moving down the org chart in record fashion, but I was getting incredible experiences. And then in 1995, my opportunity came, and along with another gentleman, I founded a company called Scribe Software. Scribe Software had a 22-year run. We built a really interesting company. We had 14,000 customers across the world, did 30% of our business in Europe. We built a channel organization. And you can imagine we went through a lot of ups and downs from 96 to 2018. You can imagine there were a lot of high points and a lot of low points. But in the end, we sold the company to a company called Tibco in 2018. After taking a little bit of time off and doing some consulting, I recently joined a company called Hyperproof. They're in the compliance and security space, and I've joined as the Chief Customer Officer. I'm responsible for all customer and partner operations, as well as business strategy and business development. One thing that worked for me was that I had a plan. I wanted to be an entrepreneur. That was my longer-term plan. In order to fulfill that and achieve that, I took a non-traditional path. It was all about expanding my network, expanding who I knew, expanding what I knew, my skill sets, my experiences. Those were really important to get me where I wanted to be. And it wasn't a traditional path, so don't feel like you have to follow a traditional path to get to where you want to be. The second thing is identify and learn from mentors. Mentors are the most critical thing you can have in your career. They're the ones that set the example for where you want to be, but they also give you great advice and great experience. Just remember, mentors get as much out of the relationship as you do from them. They learn, they grow, they get a lot of value out of it as well. So don't be shy about pursuing and seeking out mentorship. It will make a huge difference in your career, and it'll also make a huge difference for them. Another piece of advice that I would have is always try to improve yourself. Always listen, learn, observe, expand your skill sets. You're never too far along in your career to be able to do that. Continue to reinvent yourself. The world is reinventing itself every day, and it's important that you do the same.